Allah exposes people before they destroy your imaan, my beloved brothers and sisters. Sometimes Allah does not remove a toxic person from your life immediately. First, He exposes them. He lets you see their real tone, their hidden jealousy, their fake concern, their double face, and the strange heaviness your heart feels whenever you are around them. This expose is not punishment, it is protection. Allah is showing you what you were too attached to see. You may have trusted them. You may have defended them. You may have made excuses for their behavior again and again, saying, maybe they did not mean it. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe they will change. But sometimes Allah allows their mask to fall because He knows your heart is too soft. And if He does show you the truth, you will keep giving access to someone who is slowly damaging your peace and weakening your connection with Him. A toxic person does not always destroy you loudly. Sometimes they destroy you quietly. They make you doubt yourself. They disturb your mind. They turn your peace into anxiety, and slowly they pull you away from the calmness that Allah placed inside you. They may smile in front of you, but their presence makes your soul tired. They may say beautiful words, but after speaking to them, your heart feels heavy instead of closer to Allah. That is why you must be grateful when Allah exposes someone before they destroy your iman. The truth may hurt, but it hurts less than years of being blind. A painful discovery today can save you from a deeper wound tomorrow. So when Allah shows you someone's reality, do not close your eyes again. Do not drag back the person Allah is removing. Do not keep calling harm love just because you are attached. Step back with dignity. Protect your heart without becoming hateful. Forgive for the sake of Allah, but do not hand your peace again to someone who keeps breaking it. Remember, not everyone you lose is a loss. Sometimes Allah exposes people because He is saving something beautiful inside you before they destroy it. Toxic people often come dressed like caring people, my beloved brothers and sisters. One of the most dangerous things about toxic people is that they do not always enter your life looking like enemies. Sometimes they come with soft words, kind faces, emotional stories, and the appearance of sincere concern. They may say, I am only advising you. They may say, I only want what is best for you. They may say, I care about you, that is why I am telling you this. But slowly, you begin to realize that their advice does not bring peace to your heart. It brings confusion. Their concern does not bring you closer to Allah. It makes you feel weak, guilty, afraid, and emotionally tired. Allah says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا, my beloved brothers and sisters. This verse reminds us that beautiful speech alone is not enough. Some people know how to speak in a way that impresses you, but their actions reveal something different. They may know the right words, the right tone, and the right emotional pressure, but when you look at what their presence does to your soul, you see the truth. They do not bring calmness, they bring stress. They do not bring growth, they bring doubt. They do not make you stronger in your relationship with Allah. They slowly pull you in sadness, anger, and overthinking. A toxic person dressed like a caring person will often make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. When you create distance, they say you changed. When you stop explaining yourself, they say you became arrogant. When you choose silence, they say you are heartless. But the truth is, you are not becoming cruel. You are becoming careful. You are learning that not everyone deserves the same access to your heart, your mind, your time, and your emotional energy. Real care does not crush you. Real advice does not humiliate you. Real love does not control you through fear. The people who truly care about you will correct you with mercy, guide you with kindness, and help you return to Allah with hope. But toxic people use care as a cover. They advise you in a way that breaks your confidence. They remind you of your past only to keep you ashamed. They speak about your weakness but never help you heal. They act close to you, but their closeness becomes a burden on your soul. So do not judge people only by what they say. Look at the fruit of their presence. After speaking to them, do you feel closer to Allah or further away? Do you feel peaceful or disturbed? Do you feel encouraged or controlled? Do you feel guided or emotionally trapped? Because sometimes Allah exposes toxic people not through a loud betrayal, but through the heaviness you feel every time they enter your life. When Allah shows you that someone's care is only a cover for control, do not ignore it. Do not keep calling poison medicine just because it was given with a smile. Step back with wisdom. Protect your imaan. Protect your peace. Protect the heart Allah gave you. And remember, the people who truly love you will never need to destroy your soul to prove that they care. Your peace is an amana from Allah, my beloved brothers and sisters. Your peace is not something cheap that you should hand over to every person who demands your attention. Your heart is not a place where everyone should be allowed to enter, damage, disturb, and leave whenever they want. Your mind is not a battlefield for people who enjoy creating confusion. Your soul is not a dumping ground for other people's anger, jealousy, insecurity, and emotional games. Allah gave you your heart as an amana, a trust, and one day you will be asked what you allowed to enter it, what you allowed to control it, and what you allowed to pull it away from Him. Many people misunderstand patience. They think patience means staying in every harmful connection until they are completely broken. They think patience means allowing people to disrespect them again and again without any boundary. They think forgiveness means giving the same toxic person the same access after every apology, even when nothing changes. But my beloved brothers and sisters, Islam does not teach us to be weak. Islam teaches us to be merciful with wisdom, forgiving with dignity, and patient without destroying ourselves. There is a difference between having a soft heart and having no protection around that heart. A soft heart is beautiful. A soft heart forgives. A soft heart makes dua. A soft heart wants good for people. But a soft heart must also be guarded, because some people do not value softness. They misuse it. They take your kindness as weakness. They take your silence as permission. They take your forgiveness as a chance to repeat the same harm. And if you keep opening the door to people who repeatedly damage your peace, slowly you may begin to lose the calmness Allah gave you. You must understand that protecting your peace is not arrogance. Protecting your peace is not hatred. Protecting your peace is not cutting people off for no reason. Protecting your peace means you recognize that your connection with Allah is more important than someone's opinion of you. It means you refuse to let a person's drama become the reason your salah loses focus, your dua becomes weak, your mood becomes bitter, and your tongue becomes filled with complaints. It means you are choosing to guard the heart that Allah blessed you with. Some people will make you feel guilty when you choose peace. They will say you changed. They will say you are not the same anymore. They will say you think you are better than us. But sometimes you did not change in a bad way. You healed. You became wiser. You learned that not every argument deserves your voice. Not every accusation deserves your explanation. Not every toxic person deserves your access. And not every relationship is worth losing your inner calm for. My beloved brothers and sisters, if someone's presence constantly makes you anxious, angry, spiritually drained, and emotionally unstable, then you need to pause and ask yourself a serious question. Is this relationship helping me obey Allah, or is it making me forget myself? Is this person increasing my peace, or are they stealing it little by little? Is this connection bringing barakah, or is it bringing constant chaos? Because sometimes the biggest damage toxic people cause is not what they do outside you, but what they awaken inside you. They awaken anger you were trying to control. They awaken bitterness you were trying to heal. They awaken fear, insecurity, suspicion, and sadness until you no longer feel like yourself. That is why boundaries is not against Islam. Boundaries can be part of wisdom. You can forgive someone and still create distance. You can make dua for someone and still stop giving them daily access to your heart. You can wish someone well and still understand that they are not healthy for your iman. You can be kind without being available for every manipulation. You can be respectful without allowing disrespect. This is maturity. This is emotional discipline. This is protecting the amana Allah gave you. And remember, peace is not found only by removing people from your life. Sometimes peace is found by removing their power over your heart. You may still have to see them. You may still have to deal with them. They may be family, relatives, co-workers, or people you cannot fully avoid. But you can stop letting their words decide your worth. You can stop letting their mood control your day. You can stop carrying their poison into your salah. You can stop replaying their comments at night as if their opinion is more important than what Allah knows about you. So protect your peace with dignity, Do not fight every battle. Do not answer every insult. Do not explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Do not open your heart again and again to people who only enter to disturb it. Step back when you need to. Stay silent when silence is wiser. Make dua when your heart feels heavy. Ask Allah to clean your life from harmful attachments and to replace them with people who bring calmness, sincerity, mercy, and remembrance of Him. Your peace is an amanah from Allah. Guard it. Your heart is precious. Do not throw it in front of those who do not fear Allah in how they treat it. Your iman is more valuable than any relationship, any friendship, any approval, and any attachment. If someone constantly pulls you away from Allah, then no matter how close they are, you must not give them permission to destroy what Allah is trying to protect inside you. Allah shows you red flags before the pain becomes permanent, my beloved brothers and sisters. Many times when a person finally gets hurt, betrayed, used, or emotionally broken, they say, why did Allah allow this to happen to me? But if we are honest with ourselves, before the big pain came, there were small signs. Before the deep wound happened, there were little warnings. Before the person fully exposed themselves, Allah allowed you to notice moments that made your heart uncomfortable. There were words that did not sit right with your soul. There were actions that made you pause. There were apologies that sounded beautiful but changed nothing. There were promises that were repeated but never lived. There were moments when your heart quietly whispered, something is not right here. This is why you must never ignore the red flags Allah allows you to see. Sometimes Allah shows you a person's reality through the way they speak to people beneath them. Sometimes He shows you through the way they treat you when they no longer need anything from you. Sometimes He shows you through the way they become cold when you are struggling, but jealous when you are blessed. Sometimes He shows you through the way they use your mistakes against you, but expect mercy for their own mistakes. Sometimes He shows you through the way your peace disappears every time you try to keep that connection alive. A red flag is not always a loud betrayal. Sometimes it is a small pattern repeated many times. They hurt you, then apologize. They apologize, then repeat. They repeat, then blame you for reacting. They blame you, then make you feel guilty for being tired. And slowly, you begin to think the problem is you. You begin to question your own memory, your own emotions, your own pain, and your own worth. This is how toxic people destroy a heart. They do not always break you in one day. They confuse you until you no longer trust what you are feeling. My beloved brothers and sisters, when Allah wants to protect you, He may either send a loud voice from the sky. He may send a feeling of unease. He may allow a person to slip with their tongue. He may let their jealousy appear in a moment they could not hide it. He may let you hear something you were not meant to hear. He may let you see a side of them that they were trying to keep covered. And when that happens, do not immediately close your eyes because you are attached. Do not keep saying, maybe it is nothing. When Allah has shown you the same pattern many times, attachment can make a person blind. When we love someone, trust someone, or depend on someone emotionally, we often ignore what Allah is making clear. We defend what is harming us. We explain away what is obvious. We hold on to someone's potential while suffering from their reality. We say deep down they are good, but my beloved brothers and sisters, even if someone has good inside them, that does not mean they are good for your peace, good for your imaan, good for your future, or good for the heart Allah entrusted to you. There are people who are not your enemy in appearance, but they are dangerous for your soul because every time you get close to them, you move further away from calmness. They may not openly tell you to disobey Allah, but they keep you angry, stressed, bitter, suspicious, and emotionally exhausted. They may not directly attack your faith, but they fill your life with so much chaos that you no longer enjoy salah, no longer make dua with focus, no longer sleep with peace, and no longer wake up with hope. This is why red flags are not small things. Red flags are mercy before destruction. Sometimes the red flag is how they react when you say no. A sincere person may feel disappointed, but they will respect your boundary. A toxic person becomes angry because they were not looking for love, they were looking for control. Sometimes the red flag is how they react when Allah blesses you. A sincere person celebrates your growth. A toxic person becomes silent, distant, sarcastic, or uncomfortable. Sometimes the red flag is how they apologize. A sincere person apologizes and changes. A toxic person apologizes only to restart the same cycle. And one of the biggest red flags is when someone makes you feel guilty for protecting the very peace they keep disturbing. They hurt you, but they want you to comfort them. They disrespect you, but they want you to apologize for being hurt. They break your trust, but they accuse you of being suspicious. They create the wound, then blame you for bleeding. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you see this pattern, wake up. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is not sincere advice. This is emotional harm covered with excuses. Allah shows you these signs because He knows what you do not know. He knows what is hidden in hearts. He knows what a person would have done if they stayed longer. He knows how much damage your soul could have carried if you remained blind. You may only see the person you want them to be, but Allah sees the person they are when no one is watching. You may only remember the good moments, but Allah knows the harm behind the pattern. You may feel afraid to walk away, but Allah knows what staying would cost you. So when Allah shows you red flags, do not ask Him to hide them again. Ask Him for courage. Ask Him for clarity. Ask Him to remove emotional blindness from your heart. Ask Him to help you accept the truth even when it hurts. Because sometimes accepting a painful truth early is better than living inside a beautiful lie for years. Sometimes the small heartbreak of walking away today protects you from the major heartbreak of being destroyed tomorrow. My beloved brothers and sisters, red flags are not there for decoration. They are there for direction. They are not meant to make you paranoid about everyone, but they are meant to make you wise. Islam does not teach us to suspect every person, but it also does not teach us to ignore repeated harm. Give people mercy, but do not abandon wisdom. Forgive, but do not become foolish. Love, but do not become blind. Trust, but do not silence the signs Allah has allowed you to see. If someone repeatedly lies, repeatedly disrespects, repeatedly manipulates, repeatedly drains you, repeatedly makes you feel far from Allah, then do not keep calling it a test you must tolerate forever. Some tests are meant to teach you patience, and some tests are meant to teach you boundaries. Some people are sent to build your character, and some people are exposed so you can learn to live with dignity. The key is to ask Allah for guidance, not to follow your emotions blindly. And remember this, when Allah shows you a red flag, He is not trying to make your heart bitter. He is trying to make your heart awake. He is trying to protect the softness inside you before it turns into resentment. He is trying to save your trust before it becomes broken. He is trying to guard your imaan before the wrong company weakens it. So do not hate the signs. Do not ignore the warnings. Do not fight the truth only because the truth is painful. Thank Allah when He shows you what you needed to see before the pain became permanent. Walk with wisdom. Step back with dignity. Watch patterns, not promises. Watch actions, not beautiful words. Watch what happens to your heart when certain people come close. If their presence constantly brings chaos, fear, guilt, anger, and distance from Allah, then perhaps Allah is not asking you to hold tighter. Perhaps Allah is showing you enough signs so that you finally release what was never safe for your soul. When Allah removes someone, do not drag them back, my beloved brothers and sisters. One of the hardest tests of the heart is when Allah begins to remove someone from your life, but your emotions keep trying to bring them back. Allah closes the door, but you keep standing in front of it. Allah shows you their reality, but you keep remembering the good moments. Allah allows distance to happen, but you keep searching for reasons to reconnect. Allah gives you peace after they leave, but your attachment tells you to return to the same place that once broke you. This is where many people lose the lesson. They do not lose the person only, they lose the wisdom behind the removal. Sometimes Allah removes people from your life because they are blocking your growth, disturbing your worship, weakening your peace, and delaying the version of you that Allah is trying to bring forward. But because your heart is attached, you may think their removal is punishment. You may cry and say, Ya Allah, why did they leave? But perhaps the real mercy is that they left before they destroyed more of you. Perhaps Allah separated you before your heart became harder, before your mind became more anxious, before your salah became more empty, before your confidence became more broken, and before your soul became too tired to recognize itself. You must understand this deeply. Not everyone who leaves your life has abandoned you. Sometimes Allah has rescued you. Not every distance is rejection. Sometimes distance is divine protection. Not every closed door is loss. Sometimes the closed door is the wall Allah built between you and a harm you could not see. You may only see the pain of their absence, but Allah sees the danger of their presence. You may only miss the memories, but Allah knows the hidden damage behind the connection. You may only remember how they made you smile once, but Allah knows how many nights they made you cry, how many times they made you doubt yourself, and how many times they pulled your heart away from peace. My beloved brothers and sisters, when Allah removes someone, do not drag them back because of loneliness. Loneliness can lie to you. Loneliness can make toxic people look beautiful again. Loneliness can make you forget the pain and remember only the good moments. But loneliness can whisper, maybe this time it will be different, even when the same pattern has already repeated many times. But a believer does not follow loneliness blindly. A believer follows guidance. A believer asks, did this person bring me closer to Allah, or did they pull me away from Him? Did this connection bring barakah, or did it bring chaos? Did their presence make my heart peaceful, or did it keep my soul in constant unrest? There are people Allah removes after showing you enough signs, enough red flags, enough discomfort, enough broken promises, and enough painful lessons. If after all that you still force the door open, you may return to the same harm Allah saved you from. And then when you are hurt again, you may ask, why did this happen? But sometimes it happened because Allah showed you the exit and you walked back into the fire. Sometimes Allah opened the cage and you returned because the cage was familiar. Sometimes Allah freed your heart, but your attachment became the chain. This is why emotional attachment must never become stronger than trust in Allah. You may love someone, but Allah knows them better than you do. You may miss someone, but Allah knows what staying with them would have cost you. You may think they were necessary for your happiness, but Allah knows whether they were slowly becoming the reason for your sadness. You may be attached to their words, their memories, their promises, their presence, but Allah is attached to your protection, your healing, your imaan, your future, and your akhirah. Do not confuse missing someone with needing them. You can miss a person and still understand that they were not healthy for your soul. You can remember good moments and still accept that the connection was damaging. You can forgive them and still not return. You can make dua for them and still keep distance. You can wish them well and still understand that your heart is safer without daily access to them. This is maturity. This is wisdom. This is when your trust in Allah becomes stronger than your emotional weakness. Some people come into your life as tests, not as destinations. They teach you patience. They teach you self-respect. They teach you tawakkul. They teach you how to stop depending on people for the peace that only Allah can give. But once the lesson is complete, you must not keep sitting in the classroom of pain. Imagine a student who passes the exam but refuses to leave the examination hall. This is what many people do emotionally. Allah teaches them the lesson, exposes the pattern, opens the door, but they stay because the pain has become familiar. My beloved brothers and sisters, when someone toxic leaves, Shaitan may play with your emotions. He may remind you of the beautiful days and hide the painful nights. He may remind you of their smile and hide their disrespect. He may remind you of their apology and hide the repeated damage after every apology. He may remind you of what you hoped they would become and hide what they actually kept doing. This is why you must ask Allah for clarity, not just comfort. Comfort may make you want them back, but clarity will remind you why Allah removed them. And sometimes toxic people return when they feel you healing. They come back when they see you peaceful. They come back when they sense that your heart is no longer controlled by them. They may return with soft words, new promises, tears, apologies, and emotional pressure. But before you open the door again, ask yourself, has the pattern changed or has the performance changed? Have they truly become better or have they only become better at saying what you want to hear? Are they returning because they value you or because they lost control over you? These are not cruel questions, these are wise questions. Islam teaches forgiveness, but forgiveness is not foolishness. Forgiveness means you release hatred from your heart. It does not mean you give the same harmful person the same place again. Forgiveness means you do not carry revenge. It does not mean you ignore repeated poison. Forgiveness means you leave the matter to Allah. It does not mean you become available for the same wound every few weeks. You can forgive someone for the sake of Allah and still say, I will not allow this access again. When Allah removes someone, He may also be making room for better people, better peace, better worship, better focus, and better growth. But if you keep dragging the wrong people back, you leave no space for the right blessings to enter. Some people are so busy holding on to what Allah is removing that they cannot receive what Allah is sending. Their hands are full of pain, so they cannot hold mercy. Their hearts are crowded with toxic attachment, so they cannot feel the calmness Allah wants to give them. Do not be afraid of the empty space after someone leaves. Sometimes that empty space is where healing begins. Sometimes that silence is where your dua becomes deeper. Sometimes that loneliness is where Allah teaches you that you were never truly alone. Sometimes the absence of certain people becomes the return of your own soul. You begin to sleep better. You begin to think clearly. You begin to pray with more focus. You begin to smile without fear of someone ruining your mood. You begin to remember who you were before their chaos entered your life. My beloved brothers and sisters, if Allah removed someone after exposing their harm, respect the wisdom of that removal. Do not keep asking Allah to return what He removed for your protection. Instead, ask Allah to heal the part of your heart that still wants what hurt you. Ask Allah to replace attachment with peace. Ask Allah to replace confusion with certainty. Ask Allah to make you strong enough to accept His decision even when your emotions do not understand it yet. There will be moments when you will want to text them. There will be moments when you will want to check on them. There will be moments when memories will return and your heart will soften. In those moments, do not act immediately. Make wudu. Pray 2 rakas. Sit with Allah before you run back to people. Ask yourself, am I going back because Allah guided me or because my pain is speaking? Many people do not return because it is right. They return because they are uncomfortable with healing. Healing feels strange when chaos was familiar for too long. And remember, Allah's removal can be gentle or painful, but it is always filled with wisdom. Sometimes He removes someone through distance, sometimes through truth, sometimes through betrayal, sometimes through disappointment, sometimes through unanswered messages, sometimes through a change in their behavior that finally opens your eyes. Whatever the method, do not only look at the pain of separation. Look at the protection hidden inside it. If someone was meant to be in your life with care, Allah would have made their presence a source of goodness, not constant destruction. They would have brought you closer to patience, mercy, peace, and remembrance of Allah. But if their presence repeatedly brings darkness, confusion, guilt, fear, and spiritual weakness, then maybe Allah is not testing you to hold on. Maybe Allah is teaching you to let go with trust. So when Allah removes someone, let them go with dignity. Do not chase what keeps running from sincerity. Do not beg for space in the heart of someone who did not fear Allah and how they treated yours. Do not keep reopening a door Allah closed after showing you what was behind it. Trust Him. He knows the danger you escaped. He knows the tears you cried. He knows the battles you fought silently. He knows the future you cannot see. And one day, when your heart becomes calmer, you will look back and say, Alhamdulillah, Allah removed them before they destroyed me. You will understand that the distance was mercy, the ending was protection, the pain was a lesson, and the removal was not the loss of your life. It was the beginning of your healing. Silence is sometimes more powerful than revenge, my beloved brothers and sisters. When toxic people hurt you, expose themselves, betray your trust, speak behind your back, twist your words, or make you look like the problem after they damaged your heart, your nafs may want to react immediately. You may want to answer every lie, expose every secret, correct every accusation, and make the whole world understand what really happened. You may feel that if you remain silent, they have won. You may feel that if you do not defend yourself, people will believe them. You may feel that if you do not speak, the truth will disappear. But listen carefully. Silence for the sake of Allah is not weakness. Sometimes silence is the strongest proof that you have placed your case in the hands of the one who never forgets, never sleeps, and never allows injustice to be lost. There is a silence that comes from fear, and there is a silence that comes from faith. There is a silence that comes because you cannot speak, and there is a silence that comes because you choose not to lower yourself. There is a silence that is helpless, and there is a silence that is full of dignity. When you stay quiet because you are trying to protect your akhlaq, protect your imaan, protect your heart from becoming ugly, and protect your tongue from saying something that displeases Allah, then that silence is not defeat. That silence is worship. That silence is discipline. That silence is you telling your soul, I will not become like the people who hurt me. Sometimes toxic people want your reaction more than they want your answer. They disturb you because they want to see you lose control. They provoke you because they want to make you look angry. They accuse you because they want you to defend yourself in a way that makes you appear unstable. They keep pulling you into arguments because they enjoy seeing your peace disappear. And when you finally explode, they point at your reaction and say, look, this is who they really are. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not give them the evidence they are trying to create against you. Do not let their poison change your character. Do not let their darkness steal the light Allah placed inside your heart. The most dangerous moment is not when someone hurts you. The most dangerous moment is what you become after being hurt. Will you become bitter? Will you become cruel? Will you become someone who exposes, insults, curses, and destroys? Or will you become wiser, calmer, stronger, and closer to Allah? Many people lose themselves after dealing with toxic people. They were soft, but now they become hard. They were kind, but now they become suspicious of everyone. They were peaceful, but now they speak with anger all the time. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not let one harmful person turn you into a harmful person. Do not let someone else's lack of fear of Allah make you lose your own fear of Allah. When people wrong you, remember that Allah saw what happened before you even found the words to explain it. Allah saw the intention behind their smile. Allah heard the conversation you were not present in. Allah knew the truth when they changed the story. Allah knew your heart when people misunderstood your silence. Allah knew how much you tolerated, how much you forgave, how much you cried, how many times you wanted to respond but held yourself back for His sake. So why are you panicking as though your matter is hidden? Why are you exhausting yourself trying to convince everyone when Allah already knows? My beloved brothers and sisters, there are battles that you win by speaking, and there are battles that you win by staying quiet. There are moments when truth must be spoken, especially when silence allows oppression to continue or harm to spread. Islam does not teach us to accept abuse silently forever. But there are also moments when speaking only feeds the fire. There are people who do not want understanding. They want drama. They do not want truth. They want control. They do not want peace. They want a reaction. And when you realize that a conversation is not bringing guidance, repair, justice, or clarity, but only more damage, then silence becomes wisdom. Do not waste your clean heart trying to win dirty arguments. Do not spend your nights preparing answers for people who have already decided to misunderstand you. Do not keep explaining your pain to people who benefit from pretending they cannot see it. Some people know exactly what they did. They know the words they said. They know how they treated you. They know the lines they crossed. They know the truth, but they want you to keep talking so they can keep twisting. With such people, silence is not losing. Silence is refusing to be dragged into a place where your soul becomes dirty. And remember this, my beloved brothers and sisters, your tongue is a trust from Allah. Your words are written. Your reactions are recorded. Your anger may feel justified, but even justified anger needs discipline. Sometimes a person hurts you, and Shaitan uses that pain to push you into sin. He whispers, expose them, humiliate them, curse them, destroy their reputation, make them feel what they made you feel. But the believer does not heal through revenge. The believer heals through Allah. The believer does not need to become unjust to prove that injustice happened. The believer does not need to burn someone else's house to prove that his own heart was burned. Yes, you may protect yourself. Yes, you may set boundaries. Yes, you may seek help if someone is harming you. Yes, you may speak the truth when speaking is necessary. But do not speak from the fire of your ego. Speak from the light of wisdom. Do not expose because you want revenge. Speak only when it is needed for justice, safety, or correction. Otherwise, leave what is between you and them with Allah, because Allah can defend you in ways your tongue never could. Sometimes Allah delays the truth from appearing because He is building you in the silence. He is teaching you sabr. He is teaching you tawakkul. He is teaching you that your worth is not controlled by people's opinions. He is teaching you that you do not need to answer every barking voice on the road. He is teaching you that dignity is not found in winning every argument, but in protecting your heart from becoming a mirror of the people who hurt you. And when Allah chooses the time for truth to appear, it appears with more power than your anger ever could. You may be silent, but Allah is not silent. You may be misunderstood, but Allah understands. You may be blamed, but Allah knows. You may be alone in front of people, but you are not alone in front of Allah. This is why a believer can walk away without revenge. Not because the pain was small, but because Allah is greater. Not because the wound did not matter, but because the believer knows that Allah is the best disposer of affairs. Not because the toxic person deserves another chance to hurt you, but because your heart deserves to be free from the prison of hatred. My beloved brothers and sisters, revenge keeps you connected to the person who hurt you. You think you are punishing them, but sometimes you are only keeping them alive inside your mind. Every plan of revenge, every imagined argument, every desire to make them suffer, every moment of checking whether they are struggling or not, keeps your heart tied to the very person Allah was removing. Let them go. Let their name leave your tongue. Let their memory lose its power. Let your heart return to Allah instead of remaining trapped in what they did. Silence gives you back your energy. Silence gives you time to heal. Silence protects you from saying something you will regret. Silence allows your heart to calm down before you make decisions. Silence teaches toxic people that they no longer control your reactions. Silence teaches your nafs that not every pain deserves an explosion. Silence teaches your soul that Allah is enough. And the day you can remember what they did without wanting to destroy them, that is a sign that Allah is healing you. But do not mistake silence for weakness in boundaries. Some people say, I am staying silent, but then they keep allowing the same person to return. Damage, apologize, and repeat. That is not the silence of wisdom. That is the silence of fear. Real silence comes with action. You may not argue, but you step back. You may not insult, but you protect yourself. You may not expose, but you create distance. You may not fight, but you stop giving access. Your silence should not be a door for them to continue harming you. Your silence should be the wall that protects your peace. When toxic people realize they can no longer control you with guilt, they may try to provoke you. They may say things just to make you angry. They may spread stories to see if you will respond. They may act like victims to make you look cruel. They may send messages, indirect posts, emotional words, or sudden apologies. Stay awake. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every invitation to argue deserves your presence. Sometimes the most powerful answer is no answer. Sometimes the most beautiful victory is that you did not become what they expected you to become. My beloved brothers and sisters, the Prophet ﷺ taught us beautiful character even in moments of pain. Islam does not make us emotionless. Islam teaches us how to control emotions before emotions control us. The strong person is not the one who can shout the loudest, insult the sharpest, or expose the fastest. The strong person is the one who can hold the tongue when the heart is burning, who can walk away when the ego wants to fight, who can forgive without returning to harm, and who can leave the matter to Allah without carrying revenge in the chest. There will be nights when you will remember what they did, and your heart will want justice immediately. In those nights, speak to Allah. Say, Ya Allah, you saw everything. You know what they did. You know what I endured. Protect my heart from hatred. Give me justice in the way that is best for me. Heal me without making me cruel. This dua is more powerful than 1,000 angry messages. Because when you take your pain to people, they may judge you. When you take your pain to Allah, He heals you. And sometimes Allah's justice is not that the person suffers in front of your eyes. Sometimes Allah's justice is that you become free. You become peaceful. You become stronger. You become closer to Him. You stop needing their apology. You stop waiting for their regret. You stop checking whether they understood your value. You stop needing the world to know your side. You simply rise, you grow, you heal. You worship better, you sleep better, you smile again. And that, my beloved brothers and sisters, is a victory many people do not understand. Do not let toxic people make you addicted to defending yourself. A person who truly knows you will not need 1,000 explanations. And a person determined to misunderstand you will not accept 1,000 proofs. So choose your audience carefully. Explain when explanation brings benefit. Stay quiet when explanation becomes humiliation. Speak when truth is needed. Remain silent when your silence protects your dignity. This is wisdom. Your silence may confuse them because they expected the old you. They expected you to beg, chase, explain, cry, react, and collapse. But now you have learned. You have learned that Allah is enough. You have learned that peace is more valuable than being understood by everyone. You have learned that some doors should stay closed. You have learned that not every person who loses access deserves an announcement. You have learned that walking away quietly can be more powerful than screaming your pain to people who never cared. So when toxic people try to pull you back into anger, choose Allah. When they try to provoke your tongue, choose restraint. When they try to make you look like the villain, choose patience. When they twist the story, choose trust in the one who knows the full story. When they wait for your reaction, give them your absence. When they expect revenge, show them that your heart belongs to Allah, not to bitterness. My beloved brothers and sisters, silence with Allah is never empty. It is filled with trust. It is filled with dignity. It is filled with healing. It is filled with strength. Let people say what they want when you know you did not wrong them. Let people misunderstand you when explaining will only break you further. Let people walk away with their version of the story when Allah knows the truth of your heart. Your job is not to win every tongue. Your job is to protect your relationship with Allah. And remember this until the end. The greatest revenge against toxic people is not becoming toxic. The greatest victory over those who hurt you is not hurting them back. The greatest proof that Allah saved you is that your heart did not become like theirs. Stay clean, stay dignified, stay close to Allah. Let your silence be strength. Let your distance be protection. Let your dua be your weapon. And let Allah be the one who handles what your heart can no longer carry. The people Allah exposes are not always a loss, my beloved brothers and sisters. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn in life is that not everyone you lose is a loss. Sometimes the person you are crying over was the person Allah was protecting you from. Sometimes the connection you thought you could not live without was the very connection that was slowly draining your peace, weakening your confidence, disturbing your worship, and turning your heart into a place of sadness, confusion, and fear. Sometimes the door that closed in your face was not the end of your happiness. It was the beginning of your protection. It was Allah saying, "My servant, you may not understand this now, but I know what this person would have done to your heart if they stayed." When Allah exposes someone, it does not always feel like mercy in the beginning. In the beginning, it can feel like heartbreak. It can feel like betrayal. It can feel like shock. It can feel like humiliation. It can feel like someone pulled the ground from under your feet. You may sit alone and ask yourself, how did I not see this before? How could they treat me like this? How could someone I trusted become the reason for so much pain? And in those moments, Shaitan may try to make you bitter. He may whisper that you were foolish for trusting. He may whisper that kindness is weakness. He may whisper that you should never love again, never trust again, never open your heart again. But my beloved brothers and sisters, do not let the wrong people change the beautiful heart Allah gave you. A toxic person being exposed is not proof that you were stupid. It is proof that Allah decided to show you the truth before the damage became deeper. It is proof that Allah did not leave you blind. It is proof that Allah did not allow you to remain attached to a lie forever. Yes, it hurts when the mask falls. Yes, it hurts when the person you defended becomes the person you need protection from. Yes, it hurts when you realize that some people were close to your life, but not close to your good. But pain with truth is better than comfort with deception. A painful truth can heal you. A beautiful lie can destroy you quietly. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are people whose absence will feel painful at first, But later you will realize their absence brought your soul back to life. You cried when they left, but after some time, you noticed that your mind became quieter. You noticed that you were no longer walking on eggshells. You noticed that your heart was no longer waiting for the next argument, the next insult, the next disappointment, the next emotional punishment. You noticed that your salah had more focus, your sleep became calmer, your smile became more real, your du'as became deeper, your life became lighter. And then slowly you began to understand that what you called a loss was actually Allah removing a burden you had become too used to carrying. Sometimes we become so familiar with chaos that peace feels strange. We become so used to being hurt that calmness feels empty. We become so used to explaining ourselves that silence feels uncomfortable. We become so used to chasing people that being chosen by Allah feels unfamiliar. This is why after Allah removes toxic people, you may still miss them. Not because they were good for you, but because your heart was trained to survive inside their chaos. Do not confuse missing the familiar with missing what was good. A prison can become familiar if a person stays in it long enough, but familiarity does not make it freedom. And this is where you must trust Allah more than your emotions. Your emotions remember moments. Allah knows reality. Your emotions remember the one time they were kind. Allah knows the many times they were harmful. Your emotions remember the words they said. Allah knows the intentions behind those words. Your emotions remember the memories. Allah knows the future He saved you from. So when your heart starts saying, maybe I lost something beautiful, remind your heart, Allah does not remove true care from my life without replacing it with something better, whether better outside me or better inside me. My beloved brothers and sisters, sometimes the replacement is not another person immediately. Sometimes the replacement is peace. Sometimes the replacement is clarity. Sometimes the replacement is self-respect. Sometimes the replacement is stronger imaan. Sometimes the replacement is a deeper connection with Allah. Sometimes Allah does not remove someone to give you another person the next day. Sometimes He removes someone to give you yourself back, to give you your mind back, to give you your prayer back, to give you your softness back without weakness, your kindness back without foolishness, your trust back without blindness. You may think the blessing is always in who comes into your life, but sometimes the blessing is in who leaves. Sometimes the blessing is the message they stopped sending. Sometimes the blessing is the invitation that never came. Sometimes the blessing is the relationship that broke before marriage. Sometimes the blessing is the friendship that ended before it poisoned your heart completely. Sometimes the blessing is the silence after years of noise. Sometimes the blessing is the distance you never wanted but desperately needed. When Allah exposes people, He is teaching you that your worth was never dependent on their approval. He is teaching you that your peace was never supposed to be placed in their hands. He is teaching you that people can love you today and leave you tomorrow, but Allah remains. People can praise you today and misunderstand you tomorrow, but Allah knows. People can promise forever and disappear in a moment, but Allah never abandons the one who returns to Him. So the exposure is not only about them, it is also about you. Allah is showing you where you became too dependent, too attached, too emotionally tied, too afraid to lose someone who was never the owner of your heart in the first place. Some people come into your life and become a test of your boundaries. Some become a test of your patience. Some become a test of your self-respect. Some become a test of your tawakkul. Some become a test of whether you will choose Allah or your attachment. And when the test is over, you must not keep holding on to the paper. You must not keep sitting in the exam hall. You must not keep repeating the same lesson because you are afraid of walking forward. Learn what Allah wanted you to learn, then move with dignity. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you lose toxic people, you may also lose the version of yourself that kept begging, explaining, tolerating, and breaking quietly. And that is not a loss, that is growth. You lose the version of yourself that thought love meant suffering endlessly. You lose the version of yourself that thought being patient meant having no boundaries. You lose the version of yourself that believed peace should be sacrificed to keep people close. You lose the version of yourself that kept choosing people who made you feel far from Allah. And in place of that version, Allah begins to build a wiser you, a calmer you, a stronger you, a you that still loves, still forgives, still has mercy, but no longer hands the keys of the heart to everyone who knocks. Do not be ashamed that you were hurt. Being hurt does not mean you failed. It means you experienced a lesson that softened your dependence on people and strengthened your dependence on Allah. Do not be ashamed that you trusted someone who was not sincere. Your sincerity is not the shame. Their betrayal is the shame. Do not be ashamed that you gave love to someone who did not value it. Allah saw the purity of what you gave. Allah saw that you tried. Allah saw that you forgave. Allah saw that you wanted goodness. And Allah also saw when it was time to save you. Sometimes the people who leave your life take with them the noise that stopped you from hearing your own soul. After they leave, you finally begin to understand yourself again. You begin to notice your own dreams again. You begin to return to the Quran, to dua, to salah, to quiet moments with Allah. You begin to realize how tired you were. You begin to realize how much of your energy was spent managing someone else's moods, avoiding their anger, answering their accusations, healing from their words, and trying to prove your worth to a person who was committed to making you feel unworthy. And when that realization comes, do not become angry with yourself. Do not say, I wasted my time. Say, Alhamdulillah, Allah woke me up. Because sometimes the lesson came late, but it still came before total destruction. Sometimes the truth hurt, but it arrived before you lost yourself completely. Sometimes the door closed after many tears, but it closed before your heart became too wounded to feel hope again. And that is mercy. My beloved brothers and sisters, not every loss is punishment. Some losses are purification. Allah removes what was contaminating your peace. Allah removes what was confusing your heart. Allah removes what was making you question your value. Allah removes what was taking your attention away from Him. And in the moment, you may cry because your hands feel empty. But sometimes empty hands are exactly what you need before Allah fills them with something clean. Sometimes Allah empties your life of harmful people so that your heart can finally breathe. Think about it carefully. How many times did you ask Allah for peace while still holding on to the person who was destroying it? How many times did you ask Allah for clarity while still ignoring the signs He showed you? How many times did you ask Allah to heal your heart while still running back to the one who kept reopening the wound? Sometimes Allah answers your dua not by giving you what you want, but by removing what keeps hurting you. And because removal is painful, you do not recognize it as an answer. But later, when your heart settles, you realize Allah was answering you all along. When Allah exposes someone, it may feel like losing a relationship, but it can also be gaining a life. You gain your peace, you gain your focus, you gain your time, you gain your dignity, you gain your worship, you gain your ability to smile without fear, you gain the ability to breathe without emotional pressure, you gain the ability to love Allah without your heart being constantly pulled into drama. You gain the ability to look at yourself and say, I am not what they made me feel. I am what Allah knows me to be. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not measure the value of a person by how long they stayed in your life. Some people stay for years and damage you deeply. Some people come for a short time and teach you a lesson that changes your whole life. Do not measure love by attachment. Measure it by its effect on your soul. Did it bring you closer to Allah? Did it make you more peaceful? Did it make you more honest, more merciful, more humble, more hopeful? Or did it make you angry, insecure, suspicious, desperate, and distant from your worship? The effect reveals the reality. Sometimes Allah exposes someone not because they are the only toxic person in your life, but because He wants to teach you a pattern. He wants you to learn what manipulation looks like. He wants you to recognize fake concern. He wants you to understand emotional control. He wants you to stop confusing guilt with love. He wants you to stop calling disrespect a personality difference. He wants you to stop calling repeated harm a misunderstanding. He wants you to become wise enough that when the same type of person appears again, you do not fall into the same trap twice. So be grateful for the lesson, even if you are not grateful for the pain. Be grateful for the clarity, even if you are still healing from the betrayal. Be grateful that Allah showed you what you needed to see. Be grateful that He did not let your soft heart remain blind forever. Be grateful that He protected your imaan from being slowly eaten by resentment, anger, and emotional exhaustion. Be grateful that He gave you a chance to walk away before the damage became permanent. And remember this, my beloved brothers and sisters, Allah does not expose people so you can become arrogant and say, I was right about them. Allah exposes people so you can become humble and say, Ya Allah, protect me from harmful people and protect others from any harm within me. Because the believer does not only ask Allah to remove toxic people, the believer also asks Allah to remove toxicity from his own heart. We ask Allah to purify our intentions, our words, our reactions, our relationships, and our behavior. We ask Allah not to make us the pain in someone else's dua. We ask Allah not to make us the person who destroys another servant's peace. This is very important. When toxic people are exposed, do not allow the pain to make you self-righteous. Do not become proud. Do not walk around thinking everyone is bad and you are the only sincere one. No, the believer remains humble. The believer learns. The believer protects the heart without poisoning it. The believer creates boundaries without hatred. The believer walks away without cruelty. The believer forgives without returning to harm. The believer says, Ya Allah, you saved me, now make me better. Some people, after being hurt, become just like those who hurt them. They start manipulating because they were manipulated. They start distrusting everyone because someone broke their trust. They start speaking harshly because someone spoke harshly to them. They start punishing innocent people because guilty people wounded them. My beloved brothers and sisters, do not let your wound become your personality. Do not let your pain become your identity. Do not let one toxic chapter rewrite the whole book of your character. Allah exposed them so you could be free, not so you could become another version of them. Your heart may still hurt, and that is okay. Healing does not mean you forget everything overnight. Healing does not mean you never feel sad. Healing does not mean you stop remembering. Healing means the memory no longer controls your direction. Healing means you can remember what happened without wanting to return. Healing means you can make dua for yourself without cursing them every night. Healing means you can accept that Allah's plan was wiser than your attachment. Healing means you can say, it hurt me, but it taught me. It broke me, but Allah rebuilt me. It left me, but Allah stayed. And one day, my beloved brothers and sisters, you may thank Allah for the very thing you cried over. You may thank Allah for the person who left. You may thank Allah for the message that was never answered. You may thank Allah for the truth that broke your illusion. You may thank Allah for the distance that once felt unbearable. You may thank Allah for the red flags that finally became too clear to ignore. Because when you see where Allah brought you after that pain, you will understand why He did not allow you to remain where you were. You will understand that the loss was not empty. It carried wisdom. You will understand that the exposure was not humiliation. It was protection. You will understand that the ending was not rejection. It was redirection. You will understand that the silence was not abandonment. It was space for healing. You will understand that Allah was not taking love away from you. He was removing harm that had learned how to look like love. So do not chase what Allah exposed. Do not romanticize what Allah removed. Do not rebuild a bridge to a place that nearly destroyed your peace. Do not reopen a chapter that Allah ended with wisdom. Do not keep looking back at people who made you forget your own worth. If they were truly meant to be a blessing in your life, they would not repeatedly become a source of destruction to your heart and distance from Allah. Walk forward. Walk with dignity. Walk with tawakkul. Walk even if your heart is still healing. Walk even if some memories still hurt. Walk even if people do not understand why you had to leave. Walk because Allah is enough. Walk because your imaan is more valuable than attachment. Walk because peace is not something you should sacrifice to keep someone close. Walk because the one who removed them knows what He is replacing inside you. And if you are listening to this while your heart is still broken from someone Allah exposed, then hear this clearly. Your pain is not the end of your story. This is not where your life stops. This is not the moment you lose yourself forever. This may be the moment Allah is bringing you back to yourself. This may be the moment Allah is teaching you to depend on Him more than people. This may be the moment Allah is saving you from a future you would have cried much harder in. This may be the moment that feels like loss today. but will become gratitude tomorrow. My beloved brothers and sisters, the people Allah exposes are not always a loss. Sometimes they are a lesson. Sometimes they are a warning. Sometimes they are a mirror. Sometimes they are a test. Sometimes they are the reason you finally learn to protect your heart. Sometimes they are the reason you return to Allah with tears you had not cried in years. Sometimes they are the reason your dua becomes sincere again. Sometimes their leaving becomes the doorway to your healing. So let the exposed remain exposed. Let the removed remain removed. Let the lesson become wisdom. Let the wound become dua. Let the pain become closeness to Allah. Let the silence become peace. Let the ending become a new beginning. And never forget, when Allah takes someone out of your life after showing you their reality, He is not always taking away a blessing. Sometimes He is removing a danger that your heart was too attached to recognize. Not everyone you lose is a loss. Not every ending is destruction. Not every goodbye is punishment. Sometimes the loss is mercy. Sometimes the ending is protection. Sometimes the goodbye is Allah. So saying, my servant, I love you too much to let this destroy you. My beloved brothers and sisters, when Allah exposes toxic people before they destroy you, do not look at it only as pain. Look at it as mercy. Look at it as protection. Look at it as Allah opening your eyes before your heart became too wounded, before your imaan became too weak, before your peace became too broken, and before your soul became trapped in a place it was never meant to remain. Sometimes we cry over the people Allah removes because we only see the memory, but Allah sees the reality. We remember the few good moments, but Allah knows the hidden harm. We remember the smile, but Allah knows the poison behind the pattern. We remember what we wanted them to be, but Allah knows what they truly were doing to our heart. So if Allah has shown you someone's real face, do not close your eyes again. If Allah has removed someone from your life, do not drag them back out of loneliness. If Allah has given you peace after their absence, do not return to the chaos just because the chaos feels familiar. Trust Allah more than your attachment. Trust His wisdom more than your emotions. Trust His protection more than your fear of being alone. And remember, walking away from toxic people does not mean your heart is bad. It means your heart is learning wisdom. Creating distance does not mean you hate them. It means you are protecting what Allah gave you. Staying silent does not mean you are weak. It means you have placed your matter with the one who knows every hidden truth. Do not let toxic people make you toxic. Do not let betrayal make you bitter. Do not let pain make you cruel. Stay soft but become wise. Stay kind but protect your boundaries. Stay forgiving but do not keep handing your heart to the same hands that keep breaking it. Your peace is valuable. Your imaan is valuable. Your heart is valuable. Do not sacrifice them for people who do not fear Allah in how they treat you. Maybe this message reached you because Allah wants you to stop blaming yourself for what He was trying to save you from. Maybe you did not lose them. Maybe Allah rescued you. Maybe the ending was not punishment. Maybe the distance was mercy. Maybe the exposure was not humiliation. Maybe it was protection from a pain you could not see coming. So lift your heart back to Allah. Make dua for guidance. Ask Him to heal the wounds people left behind. Ask Him to remove every harmful attachment. Ask Him to replace toxic connections with sincere people, peaceful hearts, and blessed companionship. And if He leaves you alone for a while, do not be afraid. Sometimes Allah separates you from people so you can hear Him again. May Allah protect your heart from harmful people. May Allah expose every hidden danger before it destroys your peace. May Allah give you wisdom to recognize red flags, the courage to walk away, the patience to heal, and the strength to remain kind without becoming weak. May Allah replace every painful attachment with something pure, every betrayal with protection, every tear with reward, and every ending with a better beginning. And always remember this. When Allah removes someone after showing you their reality, He is not leaving you empty. He is making space for peace, healing, barakah, and a closer connection with Him. Ya Allah, protect our hearts from people who come close only to damage our peace. Ya Allah, expose every hidden harm before it destroys our iman, our dignity, our confidence, and our connection with You. Ya Allah, if someone is not good for our dunya or our akhirah, remove them from our lives with mercy and remove our attachment to them with ease. Ya Allah, do not let our hearts chase what You are trying to remove. Do not let our emotions drag us back to the places you saved us from. Ya Allah, heal every wound that toxic people left inside us. Heal the pain we never explained, the tears we cried in silence, the betrayal we carried alone, and the heaviness nobody understood except you. Ya Allah, give us wisdom to recognize red flags, courage to walk away from harm, patience to heal without becoming bitter, and strength to forgive without returning to destruction. Ya Allah, keep our hearts soft but not weak, kind but not blind, forgiving but not foolish, loving but not attached to what pulls us away from you. Ya Allah, replace every harmful connection with blessed companionship. Replace confusion with clarity, anxiety with peace, betrayal with protection, loneliness with closeness to you, and brokenness with beautiful healing. Ya Allah, make us people who protect our peace for your sake. Guard our imaan for your sake and choose what pleases you even when our hearts are hurting. Ya Allah, do not make us toxic to anyone. Purify our tongues, our intentions, our reactions, and our relationships. Do not make us a reason for someone else's pain, tears, or distance from you. Ya Allah, if we have been wronged, grant us justice in the way that is best for us. If we have wronged anyone, forgive us and help us make things right. Clean our hearts from hatred, revenge, jealousy, and bitterness. Ya Allah, make every painful ending a door to mercy. Make every loss a path to protection. Make every betrayal a lesson that brings us closer to you. Ameen.